Hey, discover hip hop, discover sex work, discover comedy. Shouts to Breaking Bread, Drifter. Hey, the shape shifter. Hey, fuck your sister. Hey, just listen. Check it. Yeah, fade to black and fall, we ain't make it back at all. Various nefarious players are on the board. They're flaring up that area inside us we call reward. Ink pressed between my fingers, but the writing's on the wall. The mic to fight the war, keep my eyes up on the ball. Still staring in the mirror, trying to find the faults. Life without respect is life without results. When we only take our minds when we're lying in that hole. A whole mess of people lying to themselves about it all. Not everything that glimmers is just buying into gold. If there's a glimmer of defiance hiding in your soul, step up to the plate or keep residing in that hole. Find the fight or fold, man the lining walls. Who will still be with us when the final fight unfolds? Heart like a general cutthroat, Picasso with a brush stroke. Wet the pencils.
Yeah, bro. Fuck
yeah. Shout out to fucking Down Under Cyphers.
Yeah, sweet. So we got fucking Drifter, aka Comedy Steve.
Yeah, mate. Fucking AKA not your father. AKA stop your mother from sending me alimony checks. I get them all the time, and it fucking drives me mad. You know, and everybody's like, "Can I be adopted?"
Yeah.
And it's like, if you've seen the way I live my lifestyle, like yesterday I was watching Netflix with like cheesel dust in your belly button. Do you really want that guy as your dad? You know what I mean? So yeah, AKA not your father. Stop it. If I've been with your mother, it's a privilege.
Yeah. How many mothers are you out there sleeping with?
Well, I'm a middle-aged man, so most of my clientele at this point are mothers.
Yeah.
Or you know, probably will be in the near future.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah. After you keep saying them. Yeah, nice, bro. Yeah.
I got the strong loins, you know.
Yeah, dope. Fucking hell. Yeah, so you're a little bit of a rapper and a comedian and a host and everything, man. Tell us about all that and how you got back into hosting and hip hop.
Basically, I don't like hard, arduous labour in the sun.
Yeah, right.
So I try and get paid from the neck up.
Yeah, dope.
You know, so yeah, I fucking host weddings, like, you know, host a lot of stuff for Breaking Bread.
Yeah.
You know, and other sort of people, bit of comedy, bit of music. Just whatever sort of wards off my insanity for the week, you know? And it's all separate projects. And because I'm like fucking obviously ADHD out of my eyeballs and non-medicated, because it just sort of plateaus me. Like I don't get the dizzying heights or the terrifying lows.
Okay. So you've tried the medication before?
I've tried it, yeah. I've tried it plenty of times, man.
Yeah.
Like throughout my life. I've sort of been diagnosed ADHD since I was a boy. You know, wasn't allowed to have red cordial and all those sort of myths back in the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
And then got diagnosed again as an adult and sort of just tried to get me on that whole mental health regime thing, and I just sort of plateaued, man. I wasn't creating, I wasn't feeling fulfilled.
Yeah.
But, look, I was a lot more calm, I was a lot more focused. Washing got done.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you're more like on top of things and organised, but life wasn't
on the medication,
enjoyable?
yeah. I'm a lot more organised in my general life. You know what I mean? Like I have a floor-drobe now instead of a wardrobe. Yeah, so all my shit's on the floor.
Right, that's my bedroom.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And the windows aren't clean.
Yeah.
You know, it's like things like that, but I'm happier and I get more... I have more creative outlets, which I think helps me in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, it's back on the hip hop. So, you know, I've sort of slowed down on the comedy a bit. And like I still pop into a gig occasionally and apply my trade. But at the moment, I'm focusing more so on this EP and
dope.
And, you know, T and Breaking Bread have been phenomenal to me, man. They've been really sort of welcoming and getting me back into the scene, you know. And so it was like, just doing things with them. It feels more natural hip hop to me than comedy.
Yeah.
I have to work a little bit harder on the comedy.
Okay, so it comes more naturally to you. You think it like aligns with more of who you are?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And more of who I grew up as. You know, what I mean? I grew up as a hip hop head. I didn't grow up as a comedian. You know.
Did you grow up listening to comedy or like being a fan?
Yeah, I watched comedy. You know, like Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? Like Pryor. You know, like Carlin. You know, like. But I didn't have any massive comedy fans in the family.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of musical fans in the family.
Yeah, okay.
And whether it was fucking AC/DC and the old hard rock from the 70s and the 80s, or my uncles slipping me an NWA tape as a kid and saying fucking only to be listened to on your Walkman, do not show your fucking mum. You know, and as an 8-year-old like in my bed just going, fuck the police, you know, it's like, so that was way more of an influence for me. I dressed urban. You know,
Okay,
I hung out with a lot of, you know, hip hop folk. You know, growing up, it was sort of, I didn't chase it. It just sort of was more. And I grew up in the northern suburbs of Broadmeadows, bro, where people tend to be less funny out there from circumstance, a little bit harder. And that lends itself a little bit more to the hip hop, you know.
So like, why did you like originally drift away from the hip hop in the first place?
Thought I had to grow up.
Right.
I think would be the answer.
Right.
You know, I got sick at 31, bro.
Okay.
Like, and I don't want to go too much into that because I'm good now. You know, but like I was pretty crook.
Wow.
And like it was looking pretty fucking bad for a while there. You know.
Whoa.
And so nothing will make you grow up or mature in the society sense of the word. You know.
Yeah.
More than being sick and having your mortality tested and all that sort of stuff. So that sort of made me step away from the hip hop. And you got to remember back then as well, man, like early 2000s, it was like Aussie hip hop had sort of stagnated for a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't what we have now as a culture, and it wasn't what we had then in the original sort of days, you know, the early 90s, you know, when Bias and all those boys, you know, the Lyrical Commission, Hilltop Hoods, there was that, and then it sort of plateaued for a bit, you know, and now it's sort of getting back to that point. I mean, people would probably argue that with me and have different opinions on that, but that was my experience.
Right. Yeah, sure.
And so I just sort of, I thought, what's something I can do artistically that I'm talented at and that I will get a little bit more respect for as far as society goes. Because, you know, there's these certain, when you tell somebody, I'm a rapper and you're a white Australian.
Yeah, right, yeah.
There's a percentage of the community that goes,
yeah.
But if you tell them I'm a comedian, they can tell me a joke.
Yeah.
Which you should never ask a comedian. Never ask a comedian to tell you a fucking joke. Let them be funny. Let it become natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I've always been the guy on the job sites or the guy around my hip hop mates or whatever that were like, oh, bro, you should do comedy. You're a naturally funny guy, you know? So I thought maybe that's something I need to do. And I did it. Big shout out to my man Joel Pierce, who ran the first sort of, he was a rapper, JP, he's the guy on the check out his stuff, he's fucking legendary. And he moved into comedy and started these comedy nights and he's like, you need to get up. And so he took me in and it went from there, bro. I sort of had a few successes early on and just, you know, went and just got really into the comedy. You know? And it was good. It was good for healing. It served me well. A lot less jumping around on stage in comedy. So while I was coming back from my illness, it really done me well, you know. And I was not happy to stay away from hip hop. I've always been a hip hop fan, and always followed what was going on in the scene. But I sort of had come to, you know, I'd resigned myself to the fact that I wasn't never ever going to rap again.
Right.
You know,
wow.
I was just going to do the comedy, and I'll keep my bars for the shower.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Or like, you know, a drunken cypher with the boys, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then Hyena Mufasa.
Shout out Hyena.
Yeah, shout out Hyena, fucking legend of a man. He probably one of my best friends, bro, of all time. Just gently kind, loving creature.
Yeah.
But he's like, bro, I want to get you back for this. I think he had somebody else planned for this set, and they couldn't do it. So he's like, dude, do you want to do this track? You know. And if memory serves me, I think it was a track we had already, or we were planning on working on, and I had verses already for it. So he's like, come in, man, and let's do this set. So I did the set, and T and stuff was there, and T's like, fuck, you rap. And I'm like, oh, you know, I used to. And he's like, you need to keep doing that, man.
Yeah.
So T's been really accommodating from Breaking Bread, and they've sort of got me in hosting a lot of stuff, which is a good segue from the comedy back into the hip hop, because I can be funny as a host. I can throw a little bit of crowd work out there. I can improv, all that sort of stuff, you know. And then, just doing a few more gigs and found that passion again, bro.
Dope.
You know, like really fucking, like, I love comedy and I'm reasonably good at it. Even though I'm just an open mic, you know, I'm not top tier. I'm not up there with the fucking Pete Halliers and the, you know, I'm still right down here. But I'm good enough at it to be able to get by on it.
Okay,
you know?
dope, yeah.
But I think I'm a much better rapper, you know, and I love it more, man.
Yeah.
Like when I tell a good joke, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
But when I fucking bust out a mad freestyle or something, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like my face gets distorted, twitching and shit. It's remarkable, you know.
How does they compare, like, in terms of like the adrenaline and reward you get from stage? Is one of them better?
Well, I think like we spoke about this earlier, but I think that it's a different energy exchange. So it's the adrenaline from doing a good hip hop gig is second to none, and I suppose that spans over all of music, whether you're a rock and roll or a death metal, whatever you're doing in the musical genre, or in that scene. I feel like the people, there's hands up in the air. It's like it's like winning a fucking a racing car fucking race. I imagine the adrenaline is where comedy. It's more of a you tickle my ego, I give you a laugh. You're eating off the laughs, so it's calmer, but there's a lot of confidence in it. You're like fucking mate. If you can get everybody in a crowd laughing, that speaks volume for your art. Where in the hip hop scene or in the music scene in general, there's some people in the crowd doing this and they've had no idea what you said. Yeah, it's just easier to have a better time at those sort of places. It's not as judged.
That's interesting. Yeah. I can imagine. Like I've never been up on stage, like rapping or anything, but I can imagine it would just make you feel like fucking. Just a whole nother like world. Like I can imagine you'd just be fucking. It'd be insane.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. You gotta get up there, Louis. Have a fucking spit some bars, mate.
I gotta learn how to rap.
Yeah, you gotta spit some bars, mate. Oh, dude, I know a lot of fucking people up there that don't know how to rap and they're still spitting bars, bro. I'm not mentioning any names. You know who the fuck you are. You know who the fuck you are.
Oh, bro, I made a video on that a little while ago and it fucking stirred people up. Just saying that, that you shouldn't like give people. We were almost talking a little bit about this before. You were saying, hey, if something I say. Like just in general isn't funny. Don't fucking laugh.
Don't laugh at me, yeah.
And I was saying that in a video, like, hey, stop telling these shitty rappers that they're good rappers because you're not actually helping them. Like, you think you're doing the nice thing by being nice and by not being rude or whatever, but you're just giving them a false sense of hope, false sense of confidence, and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like people think they're being polite to the person, but they're actually being polite to themselves.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to do the hard work
that
it takes to turn around and say to somebody, bro, you're not doing your best work,
They don't want to deal
or
with
you don't have a place up here.
Exactly.
Which is hard to tell somebody,
Yeah.
And so I think it's more saving their self, self-preservation,
Definitely.
But yeah, man, if I tell people I do comedy and everything I say after that, I get a laugh, whether it's a false laugh or a real laugh. And it's hard for me to distinguish the two, and then that can sort of, dwindle into my ego, give me a false perception of who I am, and then your subconscious almost walks around wanting to tell everybody you're a comedian, so you get those extra laughs.
Yeah.
But if you're being real, then you just let the laughs laugh for themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting. So if you tell people you're a comedian, people laugh more.
Yeah, well, that's my experience. Yeah, they tend to.
They feel like they should?
Yeah. They feel like, I could say anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, but that's the thing, if what I say is not funny, don't laugh, so I know where my funny is.
Yeah.
And then if I know where my funny is, I can be the best comedian I can possibly ever be.
Yeah.
And it's the same as hip hop, right? It's the same as rap. So if I'm spitting mediocre bars and you're going, I think I'm spitting crazy fucking bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I go home and I'm not working on my craft. I'm sitting in that pocket.
Yeah.
I'm writing a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're like, bro, that was, if people are more honest with each other, those people would walk away, they'd have a really good look at themselves, they'd realize it's not for them and walk away, or they'd go hard. They'd go full fucking Goggins, and who's going to carry the boats?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they come out, next time you see them, they're performing better, bro.
Yeah.
They got better bars, they got better stage presence, they're more calculated, they're more conscious. And these are all good things for hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't blow smoke up my ass. Don't piss in anybody's pocket.
Yeah.
I don't do it. Sometimes I'm brutally honest to people. And look, if I've ever told you you can do better, I believe you can do better. If I don't think it's for you, I just won't mention anything.
You're doing that person a favor, and that's why, like, the most valuable person to me that I've met in my life, and sorry to any of my mates that are listening that's not this person, don't get upset. Everyone's important, but is my mate Curtis, like, because he always, from the fucking day that I've met him, he will fucking tell you what he thinks.
Yeah.
And if you say something that's fucking stupid, he'll tell you it's fucking stupid.
You go, what are you doing?
But you know what that does is when he tells you that was fucking amazing, you know that he really means that.
Genuine,
and it means so much.
And it's like getting a real rose as opposed to a digital rose on.
Yeah.
If somebody brings you a rose to your house, bro, it's a beautiful thing. They've thought of you. They've gone out. They bought the rose. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
If somebody gives you a rose on a meme,
yeah,
it's not the same thing. And that's the thing. Like, be honest.
Yeah.
Be assertive. Don't be brutal, but always be honest.
Yeah, and I think maybe some people took the video the wrong way, because that's what a couple of the comments thought that I was saying, but like, tell them their shit.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean, even though I do think, and this would be interesting to think what you think about this, I do think it's more beneficial for someone to be told that they're shit than that they're really good when they're not. I don't think you should tell them they're shit. It's mean and it's unnecessary.
Yeah. Well,
but I do think
if you do it in the right way.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You could tell them nicely and just say, hey, you know what, this was good, but maybe like more of this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
That's the best. But even if you are an asshole and you do say, hey, that was fucking horrible, that's pretty mean and it's going to suck. But they can actually benefit more from that.
Well, some people need that, right? And I think we all need a little bit of that. Like, not everybody's there to be your friend.
Yeah.
So, you know, if somebody come up to me and said, bro, that was fucking disgusting, I hated that, bro, you ruined my night, I'd be like, this guy's a fucking dickhead. But I'd also go away and have a real hard look at myself.
Yep, exactly.
And my craft would become better.
Yep.
I'm never going to be this guy's friend. I'm probably going to give him the hairy eyeball next time I fucking see him. But it's going to help me. If you can take away from that what needs to be taken away from it, it's only going to help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, 100%, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think some of the most valuable things, like, and I was saying that to people as well. I think I made a video on that as well, saying that there's value in hate. And that's not to say that it's the best way or the best option, but there is value there. Like, everyone's going to get hate. So I think it's up to you whether you choose to ignore it or you don't want to look at the hate, or you could look at it and see what you can actually gain from it.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, everybody should be kind. We need more. Look, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, we need people to be kinder to each other. Yeah. Right? But that's general kindness.
Yeah.
That's day-to-day politeness in kindness. Yeah. You know? Don't mix a lie or something that's not true with kindness and disguise it under the guise of kindness. Yeah. Because that's only hurting the person.
Yeah.
You know? If they need to be said, a true friend will tell you you've got food on your face. Yeah, yeah. But every one of your friends will tell you that they will tell you when you've got food on your face.
That's so true.
And that's the fucking difference. Yeah, you know what I mean? So you need the homie to tell you, bro, you got a bit of flake on your fucking beard. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And sometimes you'll be like, oh, I'm a little bit embarrassed by that. Fuck, I've been talking to this chick. I didn't want to be told I got flake on my face. But the fact is, you got flake on your face.
You had it on your face the whole time.
You know what I mean? So fucking let's be honest. Yeah. You know?
Yeah,
exactly. I think that helps. The craft, the quality, and the culture. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Does that align with comedy, like, where, because that's almost the same principle, right? Like, if you bomb, I would imagine, in comedy, it's almost the same as like getting hate, where if you bomb, like, it's like everyone's saying, like, you're not fucking
it's a lot more, it's a lot less direct.
Right.
So you sort of got to walk up to somebody in hip hop, and it's usually your friend saying, look, bro, fucking that wasn't your best performance. Yeah. You know, you need to tighten that up. Or, you know, man, the fucking drill thing isn't your thing. Yeah. It doesn't suit the person, the human, the man, you know, or the woman, you know. But in comedy, it's a lot. You sort of, you pick up on that stuff. Like, not having people laugh is a pretty good indicator that you need to fucking reassess your shit, you know? So you got less people walking up. So in comedy, you'll have people walk up to you after the set and going, you're funny. Not a lot of people will walk up to you and say, you're not funny, because they don't have to. They've shown it during the set, you know? Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot more self-explanatory when you're doing the comedy, you know?
What's been harder on your own, like, well, just in general, I guess, what's been harder on you? Like, hip-hop or comedy? Comedy,
for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, man, before I get on stage to rap, I'm excited and just fucking, you know, enthusiastic and confident, you know? No matter how good my set is, no matter how tight it is, no matter how well I know the crowd, I'm a fucking nervous wreck before I get on the comedy stage. Like we were discussing before, you know, it's the only art form where people think they can do it. So people's automatically sort of, you know, dull it down. It's less valid, you know? Yeah. And you know, you don't have a dude at a hip hop show stop your show, grab a mic and go, I've got bars too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're also, when people go to a musical gig of any caliber, they're ready to rock out. Yeah. So they're like, fucking, yeah. Or at a hip hop gig, at a comedy gig, everybody's like, Make me laugh. Man, let's see what you fucking got. And you got to sell yourself and the jokes in 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever the set goes for, you know? Where in hip-hop, people are already aware of the music.
Yeah.
A beat can save you, a DJ can save you, you know. A good crowd can save you.
Yeah.
Where you don't get those privileges in comedy.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more nerve-wracking, bro. And when you do fail at comedy, it's very obvious.
Right, yeah.
Where if you fail at hip-hop, it's less obvious. You've always got a few people that were like, that was sick, bro.
Yeah,
and you're like, it wasn't, but I appreciate the fucking, appreciate the enthusiasm. You know what I mean?
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, I've seen a few people do average performances at hip-hop shows, and everyone still cheers.
Still get a lot of love.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting point. But if I think of any average comedy sets I've seen, you just kind of go,
Yeah.
You know, that was like,
I've been to comedy sets, bro. I've performed comedy sets where it's fucking crickets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
wow.
And it's just dead. And like, you know, and like I was saying before, a lot of these open mics you go to, you know, like when you're on that level, that's why the open mic sort of scene is very necessary for comedy.
Yeah.
You know, because that needs to flush out the weak. You know, and the non-funny, because that's what comedy is. It's funny, and if you're not funny, you don't really have a place there. No matter how many TED Talks you do on stage, how much you want to be listened to or heard. If you're not funny, you got no place there, right? And so there's that open mic scene. Is you'll go to a place on a Tuesday where you've got 3 punters in an Italian restaurant that are there to eat Italian food, not to watch comedy. Then you've got this pop-up impromptu fucking comedy thing popping off, and the other people that rock in are 14 other comedians waiting to get on this open mic because it's the only fucking mic time they're going to get all month. You know, and they're laughing at you, the comedians. The crowd's not. They're like, bro, I'm trying to fucking enjoy your fucking carbonara here. You know what I mean? And fucking, and the comedians are laughing at you, but it's almost like a trying to make you feel better, a fake. And then when they do actually laugh, like it's like, are they laughing at me because I'm funny, or are they laughing at me because they feel fucking sorry?
That sounds so fucked
And there's
up, man.
nothing in the world that will fucking shrink your dick up more than pity. You know what I mean?
It sounds like fucking hell, bro.
It's horrible, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking comedy's horrible. Why do you think I'm rapping more now?
Yeah.
You know?
you gotta love it to keep doing it, right?
You have to. You have to, man. You have to. And I do love it.
Yeah.
You know, but I also love hip hop.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, it's okay to. I had a friend say to me the other day, a comedian friend, he said to me, you know, bro, if you don't put in your 10,000 hours, you'll never be a master. And what he was trying to tell me was that pick one.
Right.
Either be a rapper or be a comedian. But I think I've got room for both of them. And I'll soon find out.
Dope.
Either one of them will fall off and one will surpass the other, or I'll be able to pull both of them off. And that happens. There's people that, you know, like Childish Gambino, for instance, you know.
There's people that do it, yeah.
He can fucking direct shit. He can fucking be a comedian. He can be a rapper. There's some people that can dabble. And I'm not trying to compare myself to Childish Gambino or anybody, you know. Like, I'm not the next Michael Jackson. I'm the first fucking drifter.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? But it's like, you know, I feel like I can pull it all off, you know? It's almost like that whole Renaissance man type of thing. You know? I'm trying to stick my toe in various waters.
Yeah, I feel like if you enjoy it, you should keep doing it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, I love the rap more.
Okay.
And I enjoy it more outside of performance. You know, like if I'm sitting in the kitchen cooking myself up a poached chicken with thyme, I'm rapping.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there rapping. I'm listening to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't got Netflix on listening to a fucking, you know, a comedy special in the background.
Yeah.
I'll sit down and watch a comedy special.
Yeah.
You know, but I sort of, it's not my background. You know, my background noise, my white noise is hip hop.
Yeah,
you know?
nice. Yeah.
And so, and if I'm in the shower and fucking, I'll put a beat on and I'll do 100 bars in the shower.
Yeah.
I won't be sitting there going over jokes.
Yeah.
Or trying to improv crowd work in it.
Yeah.
I leave that for the stage.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you practice comedy much when you're not on stage? Is there much you can do?
I find it hard.
Yeah.
So I find it hard. They say like for expression and for facial movements.
Oh, okay.
And body language, you should do your set in the mirror.
Right.
I've never been able to do that.
Yeah. That feels weird.
Fucking very weird. Very fucking weird. Especially when you know, I like to do things naked.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sitting there naked in front of the mirror and the kids will walk in and going, is Dad telling jokes to himself again in the mirror?
To himself,
fucking call the cat team on me, bro. You know what I mean? Have me assessed very quickly, bro. But you can do that with rap.
Yeah.
You know, I can sit in the shower spitting bars. Like,
Yeah.
I've never sat in front of a mirror and spat bars, but I don't feel like you need to, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and I find it easier to write. Some people would tell you the absolute opposite. Some people that wouldn't be able to write 16 bars of a verse, you know, a hip hop verse, but would be able to write one line of jokes every day for the rest of their life. You know?
You find hip hop easier to
I
write?
find it way easier to write a verse, which is a lot more words than a joke, you know?
I could see that. I mean, I don't rap or anything. I don't write jokes, but I write music and stuff as just a form of like therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could see that because, I mean, I guess you can write and rhyme without having to, like, I've tried to come up with fucking jokes, man. And if I ever fucking sit there and try and think, I find it very hard.
It is, yeah.
But it's just got to rhyme at the very least.
Well, comedy
you know?
comedy in its rawest form is spontaneous.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a funny guy, you give me a laugh, you know?
Yeah.
So we've tried to take that, turn it into an art form, capture it, put it on stage, you know, lightning in a bottle type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to keep lightning in the bottle. I think we've all sort of gone through that, you know? And so it's like, when a rap comes to me, like I'll be doing anything and then I'll think of a line and I'm like, fuck. So I'll write that down and then next minute it's just going, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Where I got to really sit down with a pen and go fucking write a joke. You know, what was funny, you know?
Right.
Look through your notes for inspiration because you've seen a guy yesterday doing something. You're like, that would be a joke.
Yeah.
You know, and what was funny yesterday isn't funny today. A good rap will always be a good rap.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll see something that's hilarious to me and I'll like jot it down on my notes quickly because I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And then I'll wake up the next morning, check out those notes and it's like Alsatian, hot dog,
Right.
Oxycontin. What the fuck was I trying to pull out of that now? Do you know what I mean? Like, where bars are a lot more easier to sort of understand where you're going with it. You know?
That makes sense.
For that sort of when it comes down to writing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and is it like, you know how like you were just saying, like sometimes like, and this is the way it works with writing, at least for me, and a lot of artists I talk to are the same, where it usually starts with one line or you hear a beat and something comes to you and then it's just a snowball. Like it just fucking, that inspirational moment is there and you got to capture it while it's there and make the most of it because you don't know when it's going to end.
You can't come back to it.
And you can't come back to it.
You can't come back to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Is that the same with comedy where you...
Less so.
Different?
Less so.
Okay.
I mean, you'll have those moments of pure inspiration and seeing something funny where you're at a bar with the mates or in the middle of a fucking funeral and you got to go, I've got to stop and write this fucking down.
Yeah.
In its entirety.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But you can write half a joke, come back and finish the joke, you know?
Yeah.
Where a lot of the time, and you can do that with a rap. But for me, personally, I find that if I write 8 bars of a rap and then come back to try and finish those 8 bars later, it wouldn't have been the same as if I've just ate off those juices and got all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So I find myself wanting to get to the end of a 16 or a 32 or an 8 bar or wherever it completes itself. You know, I find myself wanting to get to the end of that in one session.
Yeah.
You know, where with jokes I can write the setup for a couple of jokes and then come back later and finish the punchlines. And sometimes with jokes, it's better to sit yourself on a setup for a while. You know, sit there and go, okay, what's the best way to approach that? How can I say as much as I possibly can with as little words? You know what I mean? So you really want to technically get the syntax down.
Yeah.
You know?
I've heard comedians talking about that where they talk about just trimming all the fat out. So you've got, the minimum words with the maximum impact.
Polishing a joke up.
Which hip-hop's not always like that.
No.
You know, because sometimes you'll have words in there just for the sound of the words.
Yeah, or to fill in a bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need to add an and.
More syllables.
Where you never want to add an and in a joke.
Right.
You want to take it away.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part. And it crosses over both sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to add to a joke to give it context.
Okay.
Other times you got to take away from a bar to make it more punchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't want to say too much on a bar. You know what I mean? Either. But you've got a little bit more leeway in that whole trying to say as much as I can with as little words possible. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting, bro. I don't know, I find it fascinating. Like, there's so much crossover, yet they're still very different.
They're fucking completely different. That's why I do both of them.
Yeah.
One's speed and the other one's heroin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're fucking I like.
So you're up there fucking speedballing when you're hosting, doing comedy and hip hop.
Yeah, well, bro, that's exactly what that is, bro. That's eating the morphine and smoking the fucking crack. You know what I mean? Like, all at once. Yeah, fuck, bro. That's some of my favorite shit to do right now is host.
Wow, that's cool.
Host comedy, host hip hop gigs.
Yeah.
Because I get to be a bit of a comedian up there, but I don't have these set jokes that will fail or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's okay to fail. It's not okay to fail. It's more acceptable within yourself to fail in an improv moment,
right,
or a crowd work moment, because you can move on to the next thing.
Okay.
Then it's a solid joke, something you've sat there and written down, you've tested it,
right,
you feel like it's funny, you've told the missus,
yeah,
you know, you've told mum,
yeah,
you know what I mean, and they're
you're
like
less like attached to that.
Yeah, you become like emotionally and artistically attached to it.
Wow,
and when it fails, it can fucking snap you a little bit, you know?
That's actually so interesting.
But if that's just a funny moment in a hosting moment, me picking on the Hatter, shout out Hatter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank you for always letting me pick on you, bro. I appreciate it.
Hatter, he's a fucking
legend, bro. He's a legend. Yeah. If anybody's got any free tickets anytime, anywhere, you give them to the fucking Hatter. We've got a whole thing going, yeah?
He'll boost your atmosphere too. Like,
yeah, he's a fucking legend.
When we were at that show the other night, it was the Shot Kickers one. I was standing there with D-Robs. You were hosting.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was the first set of the night, I think, and I looked over and I saw Matt out of there. He was having the best fucking time.
He was having the best time.
Like,
fucking, I got him on the door for that gig, right? That's a funny story because like Ina had a royalty noise gig, you know, part of the band Royalty Noise, and he's like, "Hey, you coming to the gig yet?" And I'm like, "I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's my fault." You know what I mean? I was very indecisive about it. And then the day of the gig, I'm like, "Bro, I'm coming." Get me on the door. He's like, "Bro, I've exhausted my door." And I'm like,
no
"Fucking the who?" And he's like, "I gave Hatter a ticket." Like, for other people. But he's like, "I gave Hatter a ticket." I'm like, I lost out to the Hatter. You know what I mean? And so that was the ongoing thing. And then next time I had some door space, I'm like, I'm giving it to the Hatter. Eater's like, you got it. I'm like, I gave it to the Hatter, bro. Yeah. And I'm still not talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, so that's an ongoing thing now. And I'll tell you who's fucking reaping the benefits out of this is the fucking Hatter. He hasn't paid for a gig in months. You know what I mean?
Hatter, bro.
Fucking big ups to the Hatter, bro. Like, fucking go check his shit out. Fucking follow him. Do whatever you need to do. Like, hang around with the guy. Go have a coffee with the Hatter at some point.
Yeah. Philosophical dude.
Yeah. And he's just left the field, man. Like, and he really, he cares what people think of his art, but he's less so when it comes to his person. And we all need to take a little bit of a page out of the Hatter's book, bro. Be a little bit more yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't feel like you got to rack. I'm just as bad, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I could have rocked up here. Like, I wanted to wear a sombrero today, but I'm like, it's a hip hop thing, man. I'm going to put the fucking...
You should have worn the sombrero.
Do you know what I mean? And so I'm not being Hatter enough to myself.
Right,
you know what I mean? Where the Hatter don't fuck around with that sort of shit.
Yeah.
He will come 100% solid to the Hatter every time.
That's so true, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So shouts to the Hatter. Let's all try and be a little bit more like the fucking Hatter, you know?
Yeah.
The old hats.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, speaking of music, though, you got your EP coming up as well, right?
Yeah, man. Fucking working on it. Been collecting, been stockpiling songs.
Do you know I've heard some of it?
Have you?
Yeah.
How the fuck is this getting out? That's what I hate about this thing, bro. It's too small. We're all cousins, aren't we?
I'll explain it to you after, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Tell us about it, man. Tell us about your EP. I mean, you've been working on it for a while. It sounds like you're really, really passionate about it.
Yeah, bro. So, like, the plan is to release 5 tracks or so, give or take, you know, and put some visuals down for each one of these tracks and release one a month until I've released them all. And then if it goes where I want it to go, maybe put it on some vinyl or a cassette or something like that, right? But I've got like 13 songs at the moment.
Wow.
So I'm just stockpiling everything.
Okay.
And so the plan is to maybe release a couple before I drop this body of work.
Yeah.
And then maybe release some after, just so I'm relevant and in everybody's feed when I really... when I drop this, you know, I don't want to sort of it to be lost in the fucking chasm of...
There's so much music
of everything. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been taking this project more seriously than I've taken anything in my life when it comes to art.
Wow.
You know?
That's actually that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So it's you know, I'm not just recording 5 songs and releasing those 5 songs.
Yeah.
Like they need to be on subject.
Yeah.
And not just like they're all individual subjects, but they need to be that. They need to be that part of that body of work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't fit in that, then I'll release, or maybe not, Just depends on where my head's at the time. But it won't be a part of that, you know. But man, I've been working with Jaya, and fucking man, that kid
so good.
He's a little bit outside of the normal hip hop producer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'll get a little bit more out of yourself there.
Yeah.
He'll fucking have you singing opera and shit in the fucking studio.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll have you on a unicycle juggling fucking, like, you know what I mean? And then you're like, this motherfucker's got me on a unicycle juggling. But then when you go home, you're really happy with where he took you.
Interesting.
You know? And he's a fucking kid, bro. You know what I mean? And for him to have that much talent, foresight, and drive and vision, I think that's remarkable, bro.
He's really good, bro.
Yeah, he's really good, bro.
Yeah.
Lockie, I've done some stuff with Lockie. You know, I plan on working with Biz from Royalty Noise. He's a good friend of mine. He's just been a bit busy and a bit predisposed at the moment. So I'll be doing some stuff with him, and you know, Musty from Pang. Like I'm sort of gonna get a track down with him if things go well. You know, so just stockpiling it, man. You know, I go to Japan in 2 weeks. I spend a little over 2 weeks there. Yeah. And then when I get back, it's fucking go time.
Yeah.
So that's when we'll start recording the clips.
Dope.
Getting everything down. Not everything's going to be me in a clip.
Yeah.
Some of it's going to be some cartoon stuff or some really abstract sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, what are you thinking, without giving obviously too much away, but what are you thinking for clips, man? Because I feel like, you know, obviously, at least my opinion is social media is like the best fucking marketing tool that exists these days.
100%. And visuals, you need visuals.
Yeah, I see so many artists put so much work into their songs and they create genuinely fucking great music, and then they'll like throw together a quick clip and it doesn't perform. And it's like, bro, even if you don't enjoy it as much, like if you want recognition for your art, for your music, you have to put in so much work into those clips.
I think that almost, like, it's not because it's audio and it's music, right? And music will always speak for itself, but almost it's as important as the music. Yeah. You got to have good music to match the visuals, but you have got to have really good visuals to match the music. Yeah. And I think that's harder to do. For somebody who just naturally wants to perform music. Yeah. It's harder to create the visual side of it, you know? Yeah. And I want to step away from that. And this is not having to dig at anybody or any of their shit. I just want to step away from that, you know, walking down the road with a graffiti background, spitting into a camera type of thing, you know? So I've got some really abstract, unusual ideas for some of these clips.
Sick,
now,
bro.
You know?
I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm not in a lot of them. And if I am in them, it's sort of sparse.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So without giving away too much, there's one clip where, you know, you see a scene and the camera's sort of spinning around this scene. Oh. And every time the camera does a 360, the scene changes a little bit. And everybody's dead.
Oh, this
everybody's
cool,
dead
bro.
in this fucking... Yeah. It's a hotel room. Yeah. Everybody's dead. Yeah. Fucking person in the shower dead, person on the bed dead, person at the desk dead. We've all overdosed or whatever it's going to look like. And every time that camera spins around, pure monotone to all black and white, then it just shows a little bit like the girl in the shower who's dead changes positions. And then in the end, the sort of camera pans around and catches the door. A maid walks in. She's like, "Mr. Drifter, not again." You know, like this happens every other week. And then the camera sort of pans down and sort of does a wide sort of zoom out shot. And I'm the last person you see in the bed and I'm dead. Oh. And it's like, oh, there's the guy. You know what I mean? That's where, but I'm not rapping in the clip. I'm not in there going, but. No,
that's cool, bro. I think that's good. You know? Yeah.
So it's, I want to keep, my idea with these visuals is I want to keep people like just going, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, like a normal, like a really good YouTube clip or a good TikTok or something. Yeah. And so the music's almost separate to it. And then they're like, fucking, not only was that remarkable, but the music was fucking, you know? Right. And so if I can capture that, I think I'm doing all right. You know?
Have you heard La Russell? You know La Russell? Have you heard much of his interviews and stuff?
Not interviews, no.
Because he's fucking he's just like on a whole nother fucking level when it comes to social media and like that side of being like a rapper. Yeah. And he was actually saying in one of his interviews, he was saying like, you need to create content so good that the music is just it's
a background noise.
But people love it so much that they then go and check out the song. He's like, and that's how good your content is.
And a lot of people's ego in their abilities to rap won't allow them to do that. Yeah. You know, they don't want the visuals to outshine the music. Yeah, yeah. But if they both are shiny, people will draw themselves, you know, not everything that glitters is gold, bro. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So it's like, it's like if you have gold there, but you make something else just as shiny as gold, they're going to come to that, go, that's not gold, but this fucking is. Yeah. and they'll take the gold from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you kind of have to understand. Like I get why people would want to let the rap speak for themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
I get that, but you have to try and put yourselves into the head of who's on the other end of that screen. Like, you know, when you upload your piece of content to social media, you don't get to decide how it's received.
No,
it'd be great if you could. But you don't get to decide, like, hey, I'm going to put this video up and it's just bars and people are going to appreciate it just for bars. Like, I understand wanting to do that, but, like, you have to think, okay, maybe a lot of the people watching it are rappers.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're probably going to appreciate the bars.
Yeah.
But if they're not rappers, you got to understand, why is that person on social media? They're on social media, they're flicking through, they want to see good content, they want a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Give them what they fucking want. And then make your music in there as well, so that then they can go and check it out and they associate that.
Well, that's what they're doing with all these reels. So
Yeah.
you make a good reel, and you look at most of these reels use the same background tracks.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are being engaged with.
Yeah.
You know? So if you can turn your music into one of those engagement points through your visuals, then you've won. You know?
Yeah.
And on the other side of it too, Louis, I fucking hate watching myself.
Oh, really?
For somebody whose ego is as big as it is, bro, you know what I mean? And who's extremely good looking.
Yeah.
I hate looking back at myself. So the way to get past that is to make these visuals without a lot of me in it.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll be happy to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with the results.
Do you get like hyper, like critical of yourself when you look at yourself?
Yeah, I'm my own fucking worst enemy, bro.
I realized the other day that I haven't posted in like fucking 3 weeks, and I haven't been working, bro. I've just been sitting. I've been doing Discover Hip Hop stuff, but not content stuff, background stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I need to put stuff out there. You can't like, I don't know. I get angry with myself, but like, I've literally got fucking 7 days a week off, 24 hours a day. I've got all this time, which is the perfect like situation to like just go hard with it. And I've just been fucking lazy, bro. It's like,
well, you know, it might not be laziness either, though, Louis. Like it could be, you know, like real artists aren't meant to apply their art 24/7, 7 days a week. But this new social media thing, and you know, with our attention spans being about fucking 8 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like I find it hard. I find it increasingly harder to read a book now.
Yeah.
Increasingly harder to watch a full length movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fucking this new world of like constant, like, you know, endorphins.
Yeah.
Endorphins. Scroll. You know, it's so now to be relevant and to stay on top of it, you got to be 24/7 on.
Yeah.
But the artist's mind isn't like that, man.
Right.
We'll have moments of fucking real downtrodden moments, man. You know, and then these super creative, and I think that's why, like, we almost conserve ourselves as artists, and we dwell in that sadness and you know, issues that we either address or don't. You know.
Yeah.
And then we have these bursts of creativity.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like fucking bang.
Yeah.
And you can take that back to fucking Picasso. But besides the rare, you know, exceptions like Da Vinci and shit, who I felt like just never fucking stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, all the greats, bro, the Van Goghs, the Picassos, the fucking, you know, the Pavarottis, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, like, you know, they weren't 24/7 on. Like, Prince didn't release a song every other day. Do you know what I mean? So they have these massive bursts of creativity, and you got to work in those sort of restrictions. But with this new world, you got to constantly be on, man. So don't be too hard on yourself for not posting every day or not being on every day. Just do what most of them are doing and just stockpile your shit.
Yeah.
So when you have those moments of fucking downtroddenness, you can just sort of still have something that's out there so people are seeing your face.
That's what I need to do, eh? I think that's it. The thing is, I get to, and probably as an artist, you can relate to this, whether or not you do it, but I imagine you probably have the feeling, it's like, as soon as you like create something in a video or whatever, I just want to fucking post it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But and so there's nothing worse than like, okay, I'm going to schedule this for fucking next Monday, because then, you know, but that's what I need to do, bro. I need to just do a bunch of shit when I do have that, and then schedule it up, I think, so it like...
Well, that's how I want to operate. So the minute I create something that's beautiful to me, I want to put it out there so it's beautiful to everybody who will see the beauty in it.
Yeah.
Right? But like T from Breaking Bread, bro, fucking again, shout out to Breaking Bread. He's taught me a lot of, you know, you got to know timing. So I know timing in comedy, but I don't know timing in hip hop. I just want to put my fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
And timing's important. So it's like he'll. Like even, you know, with the TNS stuff, like, you know, and these gigs that, you know, the Tapped On stuff, you know, shout out to the Tapped Ons. If you haven't got a fucking ticket to that Tapped On gig,
Tapped Ons, yeah.
Get one.
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts. But yeah, so like he schedules these posts, and he's like, all right, Lockie needs to put this post out today, and Eric needs to put this post out tomorrow, and they don't always get stuck to, but he's still he constantly pushing that, and he might get 40% of that, which is better than 0%.
Right, yeah.
And so him scheduling those things in, knowing when to post, he'll be like, bro, post at 8 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't post at fucking 8 p.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah, everyone's
because
out.
Nobody's fucking on their phone. You know what I mean? Like, so, and by the time they get to it, they'll have a whole other heap of shit that's going to pump those endorphins through and that serotonin through. Yeah. And by the time it gets to you, they're already drunk on a serotonin. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't get that, oh, this is special.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So he's been a big help when it comes to knowing timing, you know, in that world, you know. So, and it's important, man. It is super important because if you're not going to do it, there's other people out there, you know, the marketing people, the advertising people, the people who really know our brains better than we know our brains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you can't understand the biologics of it, then you're never going to get anywhere with it, bro. You know what I mean? So you got to, timing's everything, on everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like if you step out on a road too early, bro, you're going to get hit by a car. You got to pick your fucking time to cross the road. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, and it's true. Well, I never really appreciated that until I sort of, you know, Shining and T understand that.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, they're doing well, man. And TNS seems to be going really well as well.
Yeah, it's because they create format, bro. They create professionalism around these gigs.
And artists, like a lot of artists don't want to be dealing with that stuff. They want to perform.
A lot of them can't.
Right.
Like a lot of them are so like an artist is a weird fucking creature, man.
Right, yeah.
Like I was saying before, you know, I got a wardrobe and a fucking,
you
know, and a pile of dishes that need to be done, some tax forms, some invoices that I really need to fucking send if I want to get paid.
Don't talk about that shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
But
they
everywhere.
sit there and I sit there writing more raps or sitting in the shower fucking busting out bars or going to fucking Tuesday nights at fucking shop kickers and everything else bar that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's interesting.
So it's like, you need that, man. And T and Shiny have created that. You know, they've really sort of, they stick to their word and they hold you accountable.
Yeah,
so it's like, you know, they'll take you to fat and sit down with a run sheet, like something you can hold, you know, and go through everything and say, all right, this is what's going to happen there, and we're going to have this giveaway, and you know, like the Breaking Bread, the key change, you know, like it's like a. You know, it's like a club now. It's an exclusive club, and everybody, and that people are starting to wear them around their fucking necks.
True.
Like a death row fucking chain. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that out, bro.
Yeah, wow.
You know, and it's like, and you become part of this exclusive club, and it's very professional, and you get, you know, pre-sale tickets, and you know, it makes you feel special, and it's so professional that it makes everything else around it seem a little bit more professional. It's good for the culture. Yeah. It's really good for the culture.
Yeah, dope.
You know, because that's what comedy's done for so many years, is create these more professional sort of feel around it, you know? It's not just so underground and just lackluster, and you know, you put a gig on, 20 of your homies come to the gig, they grab up the fucking toilets and go home. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to it now, you know?
Yeah.
Like the giveaways and stuff is phenomenal, bro. Like,
and the reputation they have, man, like I think it was just, from at least from my perspective, it was done so well. They did, and they're still doing their own shows, but they did a bunch of their own shows. All their own shows were selling out.
Yeah.
They were always a great atmosphere, and it was consistent as well. Like it wasn't like one gig was a great atmosphere, the next gig, no, it was always a great atmosphere. Always great people.
Oh, T works hard, bro.
Yeah. And after establishing that reputation, it's like, well, now that we have this reputation and it's there for good reason. Saying like, hey, we'll do your show too. It's like a no-brainer. If you're an artist that's been to these shows, it's a no-brainer to get
it'd be a very fucking smart decision to go with the people who know how to pull that shit off.
And they've got that track record of, you know, we're not just talking about us.
And they're not keeping it to themselves.
Right.
So like a lot of successful acts in the hip hop community that have been and that will keep that shit to themselves.
Yeah.
They'll keep their formula and their format to themselves.
Yeah.
They don't want to emulate that success for other people.
Yeah.
Or that sort of, you know, atmosphere. You know? It's like, I'll let you do this, but I won't let you get here.
Which is interesting, bro, isn't it? Because the way I look at it is if you had like let's just say, just for an example, if you got Chillin' It, Complete, fucking Riley P, wombat, like someone in all the
top
states,
tier motherfuckers.
all these guys,
Yeah.
and they all worked together regularly, and they shared ideas and they collaborated on things, the scene would be so much bigger.
How
We'd have
fucking
so
good
many
would
more
those
fans.
shows be, bro?
How good would the shows be? And it's like, I can understand, I think, why they probably don't. I don't agree with it, but I think their thought process is probably somewhere along the lines of, if I share this, I'll have less for me. But
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the reality. I think if you share this, maybe straight away you'll have less for you. But this, like, we will have so many more fans of Oz hip hop.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do so many more shows.
Yeah.
And it's like I was saying this in the terms of in analogy with like a pie. Like everyone wants the biggest slice of pie, but no one gives a fuck how big the pie is. Like who? You know what I mean?
That's
Who gives
very
a fuck
clever,
if you've
bro.
got half
That's,
the pie?
yeah,
if
that's
the pie's-
exactly right. And if you're
That's
taking
what
off
it
too
is.
big of a chunk, there's nothing left for anybody else either. You know?
Exactly.
And then what is everybody just like? Is every hip hop head, everybody who appreciates that style of music, just going to go to a chilling it show?
Yeah.
You know, we
yeah.
want variety, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like I love a blueberry bagel, but sometimes I want a fucking ham and egg fucking sandwich,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
even just a raspberry bagel.
yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mild fucking switch ups. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And that's what Breaking Bread, Down Under Ciphers.
Yeah.
That's what these guys are bringing to the scene. You know.
Yeah.
Like Stavros and he's down. Like he'll have. You know, a Greek dude on a cipher. He'll have a fucking, you know, some Aussie stuff on it. He'll have guys spitting hard jail bars, and then he'll have some people spitting some conscious fucking, you know, like they've sort of, their horizons are so expansive and so welcoming that it's just everybody's starting collecting these massive crowds, man. You know what I mean? And and it only looks good for everybody there.
Yeah.
Like everybody there.
Yeah.
So you know, if you're chilling it, like to use your example, and you're selling out, you know, you're selling 300 tickets to a gig. That's a great gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in fucking Torquay and you've got 300 people yelling your rhymes back at you. That's phenomenal. But imagine you had Chillin' It complete. Fucking, you know what I mean? Wombat. You had some of the, you know, and you had like a festival style.
Oh, bro.
You know, hip hop thing, and it was like, you know, and you had a Breaking Bread stage, and you had a fucking, you know, Down Under Cypher stage, and you had Chillin' at a main stage, and you had, like, imagine what that would bring in, not just for the culture, and not just for people connecting, but also monetarily, bro, because you got to sell drinks at those things. Everybody wants a fucking breathwurst, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. It creates everything on a bigger scale, and it's easier to see from space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we want, man. You know what I mean?
And I think it's changing, man, because like you kind of touched on it before, but like even I'm 26, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was at high school, which is 8 years ago, if you, and granted I was in a country town high school, maybe it was different in the cities, but from what I've heard, it's not. If you talked about Aussie rap, or you said you like it, or you, God forbid, you called yourself an Aussie rapper, you would be bullied horrendously.
Yeah,
like
to a certain extent, yeah.
And that would, like, at least in the school I went to, there was one guy that thought he was a rapper, and everyone gave him so much shit. Like, he was bullied probably more than almost anyone else.
Yeah.
Purely because of that. But nowadays, I was speaking to a guy, shout out M1, he's 17, so he's still at school. He came around and spat some dope fucking bars, which I just finished editing, literally fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, like, what's it like now? He was saying at school that basically everyone is listening to Oz rap, whether it's 1-4, Chillin' It, Wombat, Greeley, whatever.
It's bigger now.
Yeah, which is dope, man.
It's funny because, you know, I'm older, right? I'm mid-40s.
Okay. No way.
And so, yeah, bro.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing, bro. Like,
I would never have guessed that.
Every night I jump into a pickle jar full of a brine and I just preserve myself, bro.
Mid-40s,
You know what I mean?
bro.
Yeah.
I thought early 30s.
Nah,
genuinely.
thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
That's
But like,
wild.
if you see me in the right light, bro, with me top off, you'd be like, yeah, this motherfucker's getting old. You know what I mean? A little bit flobby.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah. So when I was a kid,
right,
just being a hip hop fan was ridiculed.
Wow. Yeah.
So like, you know, there was me and one other guy, Sean Lever, in my school. Everybody else listened to fucking Nirvana, Offspring, Metallica. It was that era, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking Silverchair even. You know what I mean? It was that era.
Yeah.
Everybody had long hair. Everybody was wearing a Black Sabbath t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know? And we'd rock up in our Pure Players jacket, 2 earrings in. And, you know, we'd get called gay because we had 2 earrings. You know what I mean? Like rings on, fucking spitting Tupac, you know? And then 8 years later, people who you knew had the Nirvana top on in the 90s are now walking around going, I'm sorry, mama. You know what I mean? It's like fucking,
wow.
you know, rapping Tupac and fucking, you know, spitting Biggie bars. And it's like, motherfuckers, like, you used to fucking hate us. They're like, you think you're American, bro?
Yeah.
You know, well, what's this fucking Yankee shit? You know what I mean? It's like Nirvana's from America, bro.
Yeah.
But he looks like you, so it's acceptable. He's got the blonde hair and the blue eyes, so it's acceptable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, LL Cool J don't look like anybody in my fucking school. You know?
Yeah.
And so, like, it's like, there was a lot of that going on, man, you know? And it was fucking, it was hard, bro. You had to sort of stick true to yourself, you know? And then I almost got, like, dirty when people years later were spitting Tupac bars, and because it felt exclusive, you know what I mean? And I copped a lot of shit for being a hip-hop head early on, you know what I mean? Me and one other dude in the whole school, bro, you know what I mean? And fucking it was just me and him, you know what I mean? With our backs against the fucking wall and everybody else telling us we think we're American, you know? And so I almost got envious, but it was like, nah, this is a good thing for hip-hop. And now, and back then, a white Australian guy couldn't rap. There was no Eminem. There was no fucking Hilltop Hoods. There was no, you know what I mean? And then Bias and all those boys started coming out with stuff. And, you know, and you're like, fucking, this might be a thing we can do, you know? And then fast forward, you know, many years fucking later, you know what I mean? Like, now it's, you've got kids at school rapping. Like, you know, I got little nieces and nephews that go to school and, you know, high school and stuff, and they're rapping 1-4 lyrics. They're, you know what I mean? Like, they go on a camping trip and put some fucking Bliss and SO on. You know what I mean? Like,
sick.
you know, that's the shit that never happened, man. So it's growing and it's only a good thing.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yeah. That's wild, man. But it's crazy, isn't it? How so many people, and I see this in people all the time. They just, and I probably do it as well. It's probably part of human nature, to be honest. But how so many people will just jump on board with a, like, belief because everyone believes it. Yeah. Like you were saying, like, you know, everyone like gave you shit for listening to hip hop, but then 10, 20, however long later, they were listening to it and repping it, you know. But they hated it just because everyone hated it. And so they just jumped on board. Well, it wasn't the thing
then, you know. Yeah. But if they gave it a chance, that's like, you know, that's like people. Like we were saying before about, you know, we're not going to mention any names, but, you know, this one rapper who was sort of not as established, but was way better than this other rapper who was established, and he was fucking rude to him and treated him like a piece of shit, and now he wants to get to know this guy, you know what I mean? It's like, always be kind, always have a listen, man. Whether it's people, whether it's music, whether it's, you know, just listen. And in general, listen to the world, listen to nature, listen to the fucking birds, you know? And you'll find yourself having a greater appreciation for these things. And the next thing you know, you're listening to fucking Tupac. You know what I mean? It's like fucking, you know, when 8 years previously you were telling me that you're fucking, what you mate? Fucking Tupac? Like a six-pack? You think you're a Yankee? You know what I mean? It's like you fucking, now how do you feel, dickhead?
Yeah.
You know?
That's wild, bro. So, like, what was that like going to school and, like, so you said it was you and one other guy?
One other dude, Sean Clear. Shout out to Sean Clear, bro. Sean Lever, they called him as well, because there was a rumour going around about some Lever. Anyway, we won't get into that. But fucking, yeah, Sean Clear, bro. Shout out if you ever see this Sean. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now, bro. I'm sure he's got kids somewhere living his best life with his best dad bod, you know? But he was a solid motherfucker, bro. We used to get together in the library and they had those sort of 8-track recorders, you know?
True.
That you could, you know, record your shit on and listen to like recorded stories through, and we'd go in there with our tapes and fucking...
You'd like record your own shit?
No. Go in there and listen to like, you know, fucking NWA, Ice Cube.
In the library,
Ice-T. Ice-T was a big one, bro. We were heavily into Ice-T. You know, that fucking 6-8, you know, that, you know, midnight chilling at AM, PM. And like, you'd want to show people, like, this is a fucking story, man. This motherfucker goes out, gets in a gunfight, cripples his fucking beamer home, his mate's been shot. Like, you need to listen to this shit. This is like a movie being played out in your head, you know? In 4K HD before there was 4K HD, because we're never going to top the mind, you know? And it's like fucking, but nobody would want to listen to it, bro. Too busy listening to fucking Silverchair, you know what I mean? And nothing against Silverchair, bro. Daniel, you're a fucking gangster, bro. I appreciate all that music, you know? But it's just that I appreciated their shit, but they never appreciated mine.
It's wild. Like, what? Like, did you ever think about not that you should have, but did you ever think about not listening to it because of how much shit you got?
I loved it too much.
You loved it too much, yeah.
Like, you know, I love Nirvana. I think they've got incredible body of work. Kurt Cobain is a fucking genius, man.
Yeah.
You know, and like in the true sense of the word genius, he's like one of our Van Goghs. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where he took more than his ear off, took his fucking head off. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a fucking pretty different motherfucker to sort of go through with that sort of shit, you know?
Amazing music.
But, you know, if I listen to Heart Shaped Box or, you know, whatever, it would install these emotions into me, but nothing like hip hop ever would, bro. Right. You hear a good hip hop song, bro, and you're fucking like you want to fight somebody or fuck somebody and fucking eat something and like all at the same time, bro. You know what I mean? You feel like you're in the jungle, bro. You feel like a leopard when you listen to hip hop, bro.
And like you said, that vivid storytelling, bro. Like I think you know what's interesting when I think of the most vivid storytelling music in hip hop that I've heard. Number one that comes to mind is Dance with the Devil.
Oh yeah.
But very closely after that, it's honestly Complete, bro.
Oh, Complete might be one of the best of us, bro.
I think so.
You know, and his emotion, and his sadness within the art, and the way he can just paint a fucking portrait in your head, bro, and continue to do that over 24 bars or 4 minutes or an album. You know what I mean? Is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Is phenomenal, bro.
Yeah, and he does it without sacrificing rap technique as well. That's one thing I've noticed in my own writing is like often if I want to tell a good story, I end up sacrificing multis or this, you know, but he's just got multi after multi after multi and
Dude,
it's a vivid story.
To come up with that skill and the story at the same time, that's Shakespearean, bro. That's Shakespearean. You know what I mean? It's fucking phenomenal. And he also doesn't compromise his image. So he's not out there with the flat cap on, the grill in, and the fucking, you know what I mean? He's sitting there with his speech impediment and his shaved head and he's a little bit overweight and, you know, he's just dressed in a fucking hoodie and it still speaks volumes. And that's hard to do.
That's so true.
It's hard not to put on a pair of Air Max and wear a chain and fucking all the shit that I'm doing right now, bro. You know what I mean? Because like I couldn't rock in here with a fucking dirty fucking dog hair filled fucking hoodie on, you know what I mean? Complete can get away with that shit. Like he
and
really
still stand out.
He really is phenomenal, man.
Yeah, that's so
He
true.
might be one of the best of us, bro, if not the best at the moment. Like lyrically.
You think in Australia or?
Fuck. All round, really. But definitely in Australia. Definitely in Australia. Who else can lyrically stand up to that man? You know, style, skill, flow, lyrics. Who else can stand up to that?
I don't like. Honestly, I think Husky can. Like, and you know, obviously he's you know.
Still don't think he paints the picture that.
Right.
That
no,
Complete
that's
does,
definitely true. He definitely doesn't paint that picture the same way.
No offense, bro. You're a fucking legend.
Yeah, but I think Husky, and I know a lot of people don't like Husky, but man, I just think his music is undeniable. I don't think you can. Yeah,
it's not to be slept on. A lot of people, he rubs people the wrong way. I don't know why. He doesn't do that for me, but I get a lot of that feedback from that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think he's funny, bro.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, man. Is there anything else you want to say? Any shout outs or upcoming?
Nah, bro. Fucking shout out Breaking Bread, Down Under Cyphers. Those boys have really done a lot for me lately, bro. Hyena Mufasa for getting me back into the scene. I'm happy that I'm a rapper again. You know? Fucking let's see where this thing goes. Check me out. Fucking any gig I'm performing at, come down. Get down to this fucking Tap Don's gig.
Yeah, come down.
That is going to be off the fucking chain. Eric and Brother P are phenomenal. Really fucking good.
All the opening acts are incredibly dope as well.
Yeah, man. Lockie, fucking Hyena. You know, like there's some. It's gonna be an incredible night of really good fucking hip hop.
You're hosting, yeah?
Yeah, I'm hosting. Dope. The Drift will be down there, fucking, you know, telling his anecdotes, a few fucking war stories. You know, it'll be good. It'll be good. And just wait for this body of work, and when it comes out, do me a favor and check it out. You don't have to love it. Just give it a listen. That's it. That's it.
Fucking oath.
Thank you for having me, bro.
No worries. Thanks so much for coming on, bro.
Discover hip hop, baby. Discover hip hop, my man.
Peace.
Fuck yeah.